Alrighty. Hello, Rio here. End of week 14, moving into week 15 and heading down to the end or up to the top. Maybe a more positive reference to the end of this class. And I looked at your work earlier this morning and it was so fun to see the different ways you implemented my starting code point. And most of you got it, but the idea was that I wanted you to take it, make it work, refactor it to include maybe other event listeners. So if you have any questions about your grade, but for the most part, you guys got it and you seem to enjoy it. And I think it helped maybe get you into thinking about how to do this for your own. And hopefully you got my last week's attendance talking about why you don't, if you Google, look at Stack Overflow for examples of what we're trying to do, you don't see a lot because it is not typical, but it is still a great exercise. Okay? So let me just scroll through here and say that, right, so we're moving into week 15. I actually, the other thing I wanted to say today, I actually had to, I normally have used, I think you may or may not know this, I've been running on a Chromebook using Linux up until yesterday. And now I'm back on my Mac for various reasons. Not that the Chromebook didn't work well, because it actually worked really well. But there were some things that I was encountering that made me change. So I'm on my Mac and I need to change the scroll because I naturally want to go the other way. So anyway, moving into week 15, week 16, week 17 lecture. Let me go look just to make sure. I think I looked at this. There's no lecture. And I probably will do a choose your own lecture. Like, based on what you're going to do for Dev 2, like go find an hour of content. I generally do this at least once a semester for most of my classes, and I'm always interested in what students come up with. So, but that's and then of course, the 3 Learn Togethers, which I already have week 15 done, and we do something not surprisingly related to making an API call. But really the purpose of my discussion today is about our last Dev project, our Dev 2. So Dev 0, 1, and 2, so really 3. So I always like to do 0 indexed because it's the way we think about things in code, at least related to arrays. So here's what I'm going to say, is that I'm going to give you options. I've reviewed your comments, and I like to offer flexibility because I want you to choose your path, of course. So here's your option 1, is to take your Dev 1 and refactor it into a class implementation. So you can basically recreate the whole thing as a class, in a class, and then recreate the functionality, calling the methods, and however you would do that. And I put a little caveat. I said the only thing that might take a little bit of work around would be to save it in the local storage. And here's why. When you save instantiated objects into local storage, they're no longer instantiated objects and the methods will not work. Without doing a little bit of a workaround, I have heard people actually finding a way to bring them back, but it was just more than I think is the focus of a class like this. So one thing I would say here is and I'm willing to drop, I would take your functionality from Dev 1 and I would drop, in order for you to do 100% or what my requirements are here, I would drop the requirement to have local storage be a part of it, just recreate it without. And then if you want to try to do local storage, I'll give you 15 extra credit points to do that. So that's one option. So you can take option 1, or you could take option 2. So option 2 is find an API that we have not used in this class. So Andrew's Hangman and my JSON placeholder, and implement a API call using async, await, or promises. This is what we're going to cover through the rest of the semester, and handle the result of the API by presenting the data to the user. And I put a little caveat here, in a user-focused way in the browser. What does that really mean? Is make it look nice. As a matter of fact, you could even initiate the call by a user input. So I want you, and again, I'm actually probably going to have you in the Learn Together in a very future one, decide which of these options you're going to do and come up with a plan of what you're going to do. The third option is kind of a, make up your own Dev 2 requirements based on what we've done so far. And then reach out to me for discussion, right? So you have an idea of something you want to do, reach out to me and let's have a discussion, because I'm really open to, if something you want to do doesn't fall either option, you don't have to do more than one of these. You only have to choose one. But if you choose this one, for sure you're going to need to reach out to me and have a conversation. Now, I say before May 10th, but really you should reach out to me before that. So whichever of the three options you take, the code reviews will just be like they have been in the past, right? There's no difference in that part of it. I'll have a schedule for those soon. So in this week, I want you, now that you've heard it, you can review it, and then ask me any questions for clarification. Because what I should have put on here is draft, right? So this is my first draft of these requirements. And so I'm curious, does it make sense? Do you have clarifying questions, right? And then also remember, if you have work you haven't completed from the past lectures or Learn Togethers, you can still do those. It's discounted 25%. So if you get all the requirements, it's still 75% is better than nothing. So if you have some items, most of you have really kept up well with this class, so maybe it's not an issue for you. But if you haven't, please reach out to me. Or just do the work and submit it and I'll grade it. I will give you a deadline probably that last week of the semester in order for you to submit any late work. So remember, the semester ends on May 20th, so you'll need to make sure you get it in there before that. I did post in the Hangout, at least for one of my classes. I'll do it for you all again, or you all today. There was an article that came in the Fresno Bee that was pushed out to social media from Fresno City College about students getting a certain amount of recovery, COVID-19 monies that are coming down. So I will place, hey, what I'll do, I'll just find that article from the Bee or that link and have you go look at it. So it's the way you know about it, right? So you definitely want to take advantage of these financial opportunities that are in front of you. So I think that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it, but you'll let me know if not. So the main point of the reply of this is either ask me any clarifying questions about what I've talked about, but really the thing I want to see is do you understand these three options? Do you want clarification on one of them? And your clarification will also help me write any included information that I don't have here. So that's why, in addition to just knowing what your input is, I just appreciate your time and thoughtfulness around this. Oh, and next semester, Python is a reality. I'm teaching it right now on Wednesday nights at Bitwise. Who knows? Those things might go online. I've actually requested to have that Python class move to the online, but we may not. But chat with me if you want to know about that. It'll be Wednesday nights from 5 until 9:50. It is a 4-unit class. Python is a wonderful language to learn right now. And next semester, of course, I'll be teaching Node.js. That's of interest to you all. So I hope to see all of you in my Node.js class next semester. And then 83, which is my web technologies, very beginning class for HTML and CSS. And really the whole idea of just introducing the bigger concepts of web development with a hands-on experience of building a website at the end. But that's a 9-week online class from the first 9 weeks of the semester. So if you want to know about any of those, let me know. Have a great weekend. It is getting warmer in Fresno. Whew. is it ever. Welcome to summer. Hopefully not too early. All right, peace out. Enjoy.